So our chapter 8 of Honest Work, called The Art of Seduction, there's a big idea in that chapter called the dependence effect. And the dependence effect is an idea noted by economist John Kenneth Galbraith about how advertising, convinces or persuades people that they need things in which they don't really need. In his own words, if the individual's wants are urgent, they must be original with himself. And therefore, they cannot be urgent if they must be contrived for him. So I will get into the urgency of wants a little further in the video, but let's start off with the idea that wants essentially create more wants. And as a result, the more wants that are being satisfied, the more wants that are now being created. Yeah, that's right, mind blown. So Galbraith mentions that human beings, our desires and wants are unlimited, which is the reason why the dependency will never end. And another big idea that will be explained further in this video is the notion of how people become dependent on production of goods to fill voids that they themselves have created. Okay, so let's break down this idea of a need. A need is something that me, you, your mom, your family, your cousins require to function properly. So, things like water, food, sex. But a want is more of a desire, which has no limit and is easily targeted and can be easily manipulated. A want is something that a person would buy if money was not an option. Basically, you have unlimited cash. You can do whatever you want with it. Whatever you get, that's what you want. And respectively, these wants are often used to fill voids or give us social satisfaction, while needs are innate requirements for each person. When it comes to wants, if a want is in high demand, consumers are willing to pay more for it, but the price of production usually remains the same. But when the demand increases, the price will increase, and the wanted item becomes more profitable to actually produce. That's right, more mind blown. And the text also touches upon the idea of marketing a feeling, in a sense, which allows corporations to put a higher premium on a product that is purchased to fill an emotional need. In this instance, a want is created when another want is satisfied. Yeah, shout out to the dependence effect. The want becomes not only a tangible item, but it becomes an idea, an image, or a lifestyle. Are we slaves to the Nike symbol, to the Benz symbol? Those questions and more will be answered in class. A quote from the text: "One man's consumption becomes a neighbor's wish." So when you're able to create that jealousy and that desire with what you have, then it continues to create wants in others. If I see someone wearing the new Yeezys or Jordans, for example, I will look at them and say, wow, I want those. But do I truly need to be wearing $100 plus, $1,000 plus dollar shoes on my feet? Is that an innate desire? No, it's not. People become dependent on these wants, and they're able to fill a void that they created themselves with materialistic things. So in today's society, there's a greater emphasis that is placed on, having the nicest house or having the nicest car, especially with social media nowadays, where you can post and literally brag to everyone around you. And people nowadays are often evaluated by their material things. their net worth or how many different companies that they own. In a sense, this becomes an arms race to always, get the best things or the nicest stuff. And corporations take advantage of this by hoping that consumers will be determined to fulfill their wants, all while continuing to create more wants. Demand for a product isn't created in a vacuum. You must push to create it. And utilizing this, salesmen and advertisers usually play on our minds and our emotion than the product itself, because wants are bought with emotion in mind. Lastly, I want to briefly talk about the theory of consumer demand, and it is made up of two propositions. The first proposition is that the urgency of wants does not diminish appreciably as more of them are satisfied. And the second proposition is that wants originate in the personality of the consumer. So, in conclusion, wants create the production, and the production depends on those wants.